So in the past, I've had a lot of people ask me to do a face reveal. I've revealed my face in several videos, so I don't really know why that's a comment that I keep getting. But here I am, so maybe this will help you out. And it's also been a while since I've made a video. So today I want to cover a nice camera and security system that I've gotten for my home that doesn't require any monthly fees. Of course, there's no monitoring other than the monitoring that I do myself, but it sends me great notifications, and there's several other features we're going to cover. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the review of the Wyze V2 and the security system that you can purchase with it. We're going to go over a few parts. First, you've got the light sensor, and you've got the lens. Then you also have the microphone on the front of the Wyze Cam. The Wyze Cam is painted white. It comes in one color, and it has a magnetic base that mounts to anything metal, really. It's compatible with Alexa devices, and it also has a sensor to detect noise from your smoke alarms or CO2 sensors. So it'll trigger an alert for those. It sends you a nice notification on your phone whenever there's an issue detected. You can conveniently view the video right on your phone. This is the security system that I purchased with my Wyze camera, and it comes with 2 door sensors and the receiver and a motion sensor. We're going to go over those in more detail. First is the receiver that plugs into the back of your Wyze camera. It's a very simple installation. There's a USB port on the back side of the camera, and it just plugs right in. Then you can go into your Wyze app and just add a product, and it'll detect the sensor automatically. Next, we have the door sensor, or here's half of it anyways. I've had a few issues with these that I'll explain later, but for the most part, they're a really good working door sensor. And they're really small, 1 by 1 inch tall, 1.1 inch tall and 1.2 inches wide. So it allows you to easily keep tabs on things going on in your home. You can check whether doors are open. Obviously, you can attach these to your windows, and there's many other options. We also have the motion sensor. This is a very small package as well that's easily mounted on your wall. They all come with 3M tape, double stick tape to mount them. It's 1.2 inches by 1.2 inches square for the motion sensor as well. As you can see here, there's notifications that come through for every single thing that each one of these sensors detects. Here's one of those creative options you can use for the door sensors. And the options are really limitless. And of course, you have to have the Wyze camera itself to be able to use these sensors. The Wyze camera is 3 inches tall by 1.97 inches wide at the base. This is what comes in the box. We have the Wyze V2, quick start guide, a USB cable and a power adapter, and a wall plate and a mounting tape. You can use your regular micro SD card to store, and you can even do time lapses with the camera, which is a pretty great little feature that a lot of people seem to use. Now this is the ugly video. We've been using some stock footage, but this is the ugly video of my Wyze camera. Now I painted it black because I had to use it on my mailbox a while back. We were having some people in the neighborhood that were not supposed to be, that were breaking into things. But this is mine. This is my Wyze camera and my footage here. You can see the receiver plugged into the back of my camera, and I currently have it in my living room to work with the other sensors that I have with the Wyze kit. And you'll be able to see more of those details as we progress through the video. You can see the camera is movable to any position, and it's actually on top of a computer case there. So it's holding on with its magnet at the base. This is the motion sensor on the right and the door sensor on the left. You can see how they mount with double stick tape. I had to add a piece of double stick tape to the smaller part of the door sensor to keep it held in place. And that's the main problem I've encountered with these. They work great, but the mounting is not the best for the door sensors. And you'll be able to see in a second on my other door what I'm talking about. Now I chose to mount this on top of the door to stay out of the way, and you see how the top of the sensor is falling down. It's not really an issue that Wyze made, or not something they poorly designed. It's just the tape doesn't hold. So you're better off sticking these on the side of the door frame like I had in the other installation on my front door. This is my back door, and you can see I've put a little bit of glue up there to hold it in place. It's not ideal, but it works. This is a still image that I took of the living room. And then this is some daylight footage, just a short clip of me walking around the living room that I grabbed from an event earlier in the day. You can see how good and clear the footage is. And then here's some nighttime footage. There's not a lot going on, but you can see that it's a very clear image at night. Even though it's black and white, the infrared camera does a good job. Now we're gonna go into the Wyze app so I can show you a few things. If you touch the three dots at the top, you get the add a product option. And that's where you'll go to add the different sensors and more cams. The Wyze app contains everything that Wyze sells right there in a nice little interface. And if you click on something like the motion sensor, you can go through and see all the events where it was triggered throughout the day. Touching the settings will bring you up to the name of the sensor, and you can turn your notifications on or off for different things, like detecting motion or when it becomes clear. And then there's also a trigger to make it record as soon as it detects anything, and you can choose the camera if you have multiple cameras. Now this option allows you to share with someone else, and then also we have the device info, and it just tells you all the technical info about the device and gives you an option to delete the device at the bottom if you want to remove it from your account. These are the door sensors. Similar to the motion sensor, it gives you a whole list of the events that were captured during the day and a recording of those events if you have a camera connected. You can get notifications when the door is opened, closed, and there's an alert if you choose for when the door is left open. And you can set the predetermined amount of time on that before it'll give you an alert. Now here I've set it up to trigger the living room camera that I have set up to record whenever that door sensor is triggered. And you can see all the videos here in the list where that has taken place. When I go through the back door sensor, it's the same thing. I don't have a backdoor camera inside the house anyways, so it doesn't record because there's nothing to record. But it has the same options, open, closed, and left open. So you're able to configure all that. It's very customizable. And then you can set which camera you have to record if you want to. Next, we're going to go into the living room camera view, and I'll show you the options. As it connects, you can turn the sound on or off, manually record a video. It has voice options, so you can send your voice through the camera. Haven't had a lot of good luck with that, but it's an option. You can see me here changing the quality of the video. If you have a bad connection or something, you can lower the quality of the video so you still get the stream through. And then at the top right hand, there's a little moon. That's to turn the infrared on and off. But we also have the option to take a photo, and then there's a more button down there at the bottom. We'll get to that in just a second. I'll show you the other options that come with this camera. That's me setting up a manual recording. If you touch in the top right of the viewing screen, and the little square icon, that'll give you a full screen view of the footage, or of the live stream anyways. So I just took a photo and a manual recording. Now we're at the more options. There's motion tagging, there's an album, and the time-lapse options. So in the time-lapse option, you can set a start time and a stop time, and then you can even set the interval at how often you want it to take photos for the time-lapse. And you schedule that, and then it'll show up here in your album. Obviously I've deleted that file already because it was an old time lapse I did, but you can find plenty of time lapses on YouTube if you're getting this camera solely for making time lapses, because it will do that. In our device settings, we have event recording. You can set the schedule to record only a certain time or all day. Set the motion detection. Here we have the detection zone. You can set the sensitivity obviously for the sound and motion. And then here in the detection zone, you can customize which parts of the view it actually detects motion on. So that's a nice feature if you want to exclude things like the ceiling fan. Alarm settings, you have the smoke alarm sound I was talking about earlier, or the CO2 alarm sound. So it'll even be triggered if it hears those alarms. In other advanced settings, you have other things to adjust the IR lights you can turn on or off. You can turn on the watermark, the timestamp, things like that. There's plenty of options to customize your camera however you like it for your particular use case. You can even rotate the image 180 degrees in case you mounted your Wyze camera upside down. Like if you mounted it from a ceiling or something, you could flip that video so it would be perfect. Now this just gives you the option to go through the local storage and the SD card. You can format it and see how much data you have left, things like that. That's going to come with anything that you've got an SD card in. Extended devices, this just shows the list of the devices that I have connected to that particular Wyze camera. And it's a really nice unit. I mean, you have the Wyze camera is $25, I believe, and then the add-on security package is $19. We'll get to that. This is how you go back and just view a playback. You can scroll back through the timeline, and each one of these little green lines is where the camera was recording. So you can stop on one of those lines and view the footage that was recorded. And you even have the options to, take a photo or record that footage or whatever you want to do. And that footage also shows up in your events that we'll get to in just a minute. I know I'm jumping all over the place. So here we have the events tab. This lets you go back through all the days that it's been recording. I've got an 8 GB card in mine, and it holds a little over a week's worth of video. And you can see here as I scroll through all the events that have been recorded for each particular day. So if you had something that happened on one of those days at a certain time, you can always go back through the events and see that. It's a really handy feature. And I've got the beta version of the app, so it pops up at the bottom to ask me if it's a person or a vehicle or whatever in the footage to help train their algorithms. So you may not have that, but you also have the option to filter and sort the videos using the little 3 buttons at the top right. Next, we're going to go to the Discover tab. And I think this is kind of cool. It's not really a social tab. It just lets you discover other videos, popular videos that people have recorded on their cameras and submitted. Like this one is a mail thief that someone caught obviously on their Wyze camera. And they share the footage. They have to send it through to Wyze, and then Wyze will upload it to their feed here. Lots of cool videos that you can find that people have recorded. Sometimes even cool ideas they'll share on here. Here's a fox that was caught on someone else's camera. And then we have the tab for shopping, which you can sort the videos, but we're going to the shop tab. They've got early access to these new light bulbs I thought was interesting, so I went through and checked them out. $29.99 for a 4-pack. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just showing you the app. I thought it was cool, so I scrolled through it. I think I'm going to purchase these, and I'll probably review them very soon, especially if they connected to my Wyze camera. And I'm also looking into getting the Wyze Cam Pan because I really want to review that because it follows you around the room, but that'll be a whole nother thing for another video. I've been using this Wyze V2 for the past year, and it has been a really reliable camera, and it was easy to set up. I just recently got this new security kit added to it, and that's what prompted this review. I've had it set up for about a week. And here you can see the Wyze Sense Starter kit, and this is what I purchased for $19.99 to add on to my camera. We've already gone through all of these features and descriptions, but this is just to give you an idea of how much it costs and where you would purchase it from. You can also purchase it from Wyze.com. Again, this is not sponsored by Wyze. It could be, but it's not. It's just a camera that I've had a lot of luck with, and I've recommended it to a lot of my friends. So I'd recommend it to you as well. I've done other security camera reviews in the past, and this is definitely the best one I've had, especially now that they added the security system to it. This is the Wyze V2, and that's what I have. That's what I'm reviewing right now in this video. And then here's some more accessories and things you can purchase to go with your camera. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it helped you out or helped you make a decision, give it a thumbs up. If you chose to buy a different camera, or you have the Wyze camera and have an opinion one way or another, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about the camera. I'd definitely love to hear what you think about the Sense Starter kit that goes along with it. So leave me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my content. Thanks for watching.